Hi there, I am here in Redwood City, California, and I'm going to do my reading from in front of the Redwood City Public Library. And got a street behind me that, actually I'm not sure what the street is, I'm still learning my way down here. And I'm going to do my reading from the Golden Present, Daily Inspirational Readings by Swami Satchidananda, from outside here as people are driving by and walking by. So I'm just going for it here. All right, and it's February 22nd. Starts off with saying, go ahead. That is the topic. A good spiritual teacher should say, this is the way I know. It is positively helpful. If you like, you are welcome to follow it. Suppose you say, I don't want to go that way. I want to go in the opposite direction. The teacher will say, all right, do it. Then you go in the wrong direction, bump against a wall and say, I made a mistake. It's the wrong direction. I'll go the other way. That's what experience means. Nature itself teaches us, allows us to make mistakes. Didn't God allow Adam to eat the fruit? Though he said, Adam, don't eat the apple. Did he stop Adam when he reached for the apple? He certainly could have stopped him. Instead, he allowed Adam to make the mistake so that he would learn the lesson. There should be freedom in learning. Each one learns in a different way. The duty of a teacher is to see if there are any impediments on the path and clear them so that you can go on. He or she should help you to experience in your own way. By going here and there and bumping into obstacles, you'll very soon understand the truth. Wherever I go, ultimately I end up with a problem. Every time I do something with my ego, it gets me into trouble. All these days I have been following my ego. Now I don't want to fight anymore. I give up. Yeah, it's a good topic for me today. I think about my willfulness and how I want to go about things, and how much of that I wonder is guided by my ego and how much is guided by a universal energy or a higher force, a life force that's connected to spirit. And that is often complicated for me to know, which one is it. And different things come to mind, like when I stopped dancing, or my recent job, or when I've left any job for that matter for another thing. How much of it was my ego, I don't want to do this anymore, and I want to do something else and think it's better, the grass is greener, versus how much am I being good, And some of the other readings I've done, it talks about, why do we think we have control over any of this really? How can we not know that there is a higher guidance that's coming in? But, then I think about this reading, how it says, God may offer for us to go one direction, and then we end up choosing the other one. And God could have easily come in and said, no, hey, you're going the wrong way. Oh, it's that way. But sometimes we need to learn the lesson. We need to go through that experience and bump our heads or hit a wall. And that certainly seems to be something that has been useful. As much as I wouldn't want to create these ways of learning, it seems that there are really I was actually just listening to something earlier that talked about two different ways we seem to have our awakening. And one is through a form of deep meditation. I hope I'm being heard okay. It's getting noisy, but I'm talking close to a microphone here. One is through meditation and having an awakening through deep introspection and going inward to find the peaceful nature that is within and that connects us to this divine energy. But that can be a more difficult path because of so many distractions. And then the other path that is an option for us is actually through pain and through difficulty, through challenges that cause us to hit our head and go the opposite way. That might be the path that leads us towards liberation, but to go towards the path that leads us towards suffering, towards getting put under the fire, where we start to feel like we're burning, and maybe we are even burning a little bit, but that it awakens, it snaps us out of some trance that we're in. It does seem that those trances can happen without us even really catching on right away that it's happening. And sometimes even in a job where we're making good money, we're on the outside, it appears everything seems great, we're having success, life seems very stable. It can put us into a trance that all is well, and that we're moving towards our desires, and our purpose and meaning in life is clear. But I know for me, I've had to be in career paths and jobs to learn more about myself and to recognize that this part of it is aligned with my mission, part is not. This part feels like it's part of my life purpose, this part is not. By being in them, I recognize I can't just keep waiting and waiting and waiting for that perfect thing to happen or to come about on its, or at least that hasn't been my case. It seems I have to take action. I've got to be doing something, put myself somewhere in a situation where maybe it doesn't feel absolutely perfect. There goes a big truck going by. But like eating out here, something was like, just do your reading from right on here. It's a busy street. And I don't even know if this is fully recording, but all I know is this has to be my reading for today, so it's going to be shared, because I'm not editing, I'm not re-recording, there's no take two. I could have done a test. I was like, what, I'm just going to go for it, because I got to get on a train in about 7 minutes to head back to San Francisco. And so, then I'll watch this, I'll look and see what happened, and maybe this worked out, maybe it didn't. But I just, I'm listening to these impulses and doing my best to listen to these impulses within, and then taking action. One of the things that I really refer to and appreciate about the yogic path is that there are 3 different qualities of nature that exist everywhere, all the time, everything. And they're known as the 3 gunas. And there is these 3 different states are tamas, rajas, and sattva. And I believe I've spoken about this before, but in the tamasic state, it's inertia. It's where things are dull, there's darkness, there's the inability to really wake up and take action. There's then the rajasic, which is full of energy, electricity, movement, inspiration, fire. And then there's the sattvic state, which is the state of equanimity, of tranquility, serenity, of knowingness. And in that state of rajasic energy, whether we're restless or going here, going there, going here, going there, we're at least taking action. And it's through that action we actually can move into that space of sattvic nature, that nature of higher consciousness and peacefulness. In that tamasic state, when we're just like, I don't know, I'm not going to do anything, I'm just going to wait. No, that's not going to work. I'll just stay here. In that state, it just lends itself to sort of that downward energy, which sort of goes into that hibernation state, and it's very difficult then to come up into a place where we can find that peace nature, that state of equanimity, or let alone get back into letting that move through us to figure any of this out, to maybe bop around and until we see what's right. So doing something wrong is better than doing nothing at all. I guess it's sort of saying it in that way. So anyway, taking action, go for it. Like the heading says up here, go ahead. I like that. That's the top. Go ahead. There should be freedom in learning. I also just like briefly I say, we learn in different ways. And I saw this one video about that rather than everybody trying to learn the same way and teachers trying to teach the same way across the board, there's some who are more intuitive. There's some people who are more of the thinkers, more of the feelers, more of the creative. So what happens if all of those different ways of learning and thinking and being are fostered, and that we can acknowledge all those various types of natures and we can support them. I hope this supports you today, and if there's an area where you're feeling that there's some stagnation, just go for it, take some action, even if it's a small act, reward yourself or congratulate yourself on just some success in movement, and then the next movement comes, the next movement comes. We have to make mistakes. It's just part of this journey, and maybe they're not even called mistakes, it's just the next step. Okay, signing off from in front of the library. It seemed like this went okay, and on the train soon. All right, talk to you tomorrow.